Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Backbone Podcast, where common sense still makes sense in a world that is sick and getting sicker. Coming to you tonight. It's a very, very late for me. It's 10 o'clock my time. Today was my daughter's birthday, so we took her out for some festivities, and I just couldn't go to bed without airing this podcast tonight, because the mess in California just gets messier. And it's getting messier because of the stupidity of the governor and the mayor and anybody in leadership in California right now just deserves to get their pink slips and get out of there. This has turned into a fiasco. As you can see from the governor's website here, and I'll read it. Read the top here. Governor Newsom suing President Trump and the Department of Defense for illegal takeover of CalGuard unit. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not privy to constitutional law or how exactly this would work. But from what I always gathered, the president was the guy who controlled the National Guard in every state. So if the president needed the National Guard to step in to take control of a situation, he ordered it, issued it, and they went. I don't know what's illegal about this. Newsom is stating on his Twitter account, and I'll read this to you. Well, you know what? Maybe I can put it up for you. Bear with me for one moment. We'll put this up here. Oops. Forgive me. I'm still learning how to maneuver these things. Newsom states on his Twitter, and I quote, "I just informed Trump," very respectful, "I was just informed Trump is deploying another 2,000 guard troops to LA. The first 2,000 ? Given no food or water, only approximately 300 were deployed. The rest are sitting unused in federal buildings without orders. This isn't about public safety. It's about stroking the dangerous president's ego. This is reckless, pointless, and disrespectful to our troops." This was at 7:14, I believe, Eastern time today. 1.7 million views, 51,000 likes, 10,000 retweets, and over 5,000 comments. Now, from what I'm hearing and from what I'm reading, even on Sunday, the entire state of California has these protests going up and down the spine of the state. In San Francisco, from reports that I've heard, protesters surrounded a federal building in San Francisco with ICE agents huddled up in there. This has turned into such a circus that everyone looks bad here. Now, Newsom is suing Trump. I don't know where this is going to go. I don't think he can get anything out of this. What's he suing him for? He doesn't have to remove Trump doesn't have to remove these troops. But where it gets a little sad to me is I was watching the press conference from the commissioner, the LAPD commissioner, who stated in his own words that the LAPD will refuse to assist any federal or ICE agents in assisting with these illegal migrants. As a matter of fact, what he said was that the LAPD was here for them, not to assist in the deportation of these people. Now, the LAPD isn't paid by illegal immigrants because they don't pay taxes. The LAPD is paid by the citizenry of LA County. He should be working for them. And he's not. He should have the only people he should be worried about are the citizens of the city of Los Angeles. And he's not worried about them. He's worried. He's just taking orders because he's a fool. He's a weak, feeble little man. and he just wants his paycheck every week. But I brought up the question last night because I don't know if this constitutes it. But is this treason? Going against federal orders, and I know that the LAPD they're not federal employees, but they're going up against the orders of the president. Could this be considered harboring illegals? Could it be considered illegal not obeying the wishes or the commands of the president of the United States? What ramifications are there? And what happens? What happens if, as these protests go on, an ICE agent is killed, or some federal agent is killed, or some cop is killed? What happens then? Where do we go from here? Because right now it is absolute, utter chaos. The streets are a disaster. Burnt cars, graffiti all over the walls of buildings. Looting is now going on. And all of this because the leadership in California is weak, pathetic, and feeble. And they refuse to follow any federal orders. Now, again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a constitutional lawyer. I don't know where the boundaries are for any of these people. But it just seems like there's no cooperation here. And there's no thought of the country itself. A lot of these migrants, a lot of these illegals have to go. They just can't be supported here anymore. And for some reason, these politicians, they want them here. Now, they want them here maybe so they can look good and they can get votes, maybe. But why else would they want them here? For cheap labor? It just makes no sense to me. Now, Trump has come back, and you know how Donald is. He's not going to sit back and just keep quiet here. This is courtesy of KTLA 5. Trump endorses the arrest of Gavin Newsom. Let's see what he has to say here.
Threats by White House border czar Tom Homan, where Homan said Newsom could be arrested if he interfered with ICE arrest. Here's the governor with MSNBC.
He's a tough guy. Why doesn't he do that? He knows where to find me. But you know what? Let your hands off 4-year-old girls that are trying to get educated. Let your hands off these poor people. They're just trying to live their lives, man. Trying to live their lives, paying their taxes, been here 10 years. The fear, the horror. The hell is this guy? Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. Tough guy.
The governor and other Democratic leaders warned of possibly more violence if the federal immigration arrests continue. The Trump administration says immigration operations will go on in Los Angeles. This morning, President Trump had this to say.
Gavin Newsom he's daring Tom Homan to come and arrest him. Should he do it? I would do it because I was Tom. I think it's great. Gavin likes the publicity, but I think it would be a great thing. He's done a terrible job. Look, I like Gavin Newsom. He's a nice guy, but he's grossly incompetent. Everybody knows. All you have to do is look at the little railroad he's building. It's about 100 times over budget. We're putting a flagpole over there. Under budget. I always do under budget.
The president then posted on Truth Social defending his decision to send the National Guard, saying, quote, if we had not done so, Los Angeles would have been completely obliterated, unquote. He then went on to say Governor Newsom and Mayor Bass should be thanking him.
Well, there you go. There's the Orange Messiah again. And let me tell you, he is looking old. He's really old now. Donald may have lost a little bit of his mustard on his fastball here. But I think the funny part is that Trump, I think, since then has walked those words back about having Newsom arrested. Tom Homan may have also. But we see here there's such a battle of words here and empty promises. Nothing is getting done. I mean, if this guy Homan and Trump really wanted these people gone en masse, it would be going on right now. They'd be loading truckloads of these people and getting them out of here. I just think these guys just drag their feet all the time. And these migrants have to go. We know that. But this is what happens when you have toxic people. And, Trump is a bit toxic himself. This guy Homan doesn't seem like he's, the life of parties either at the end of it. And Gavin Newsom is just, he's just vapid. He's just a vapid person. And that's where we're going to go with the man memo today. We're going to make this, I'm going to try to make this as short as possible because it's late where I am and it's been a long day. But we're going to talk about toxic individuals and what you should do and not allow them to dictate your feelings. Epictetus wisely advised that he observed, I should say, that we suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgments about them. Recognizing toxic individuals isn't just identifying external behaviors. It's also understanding your internal reactions to them. You see, toxicity isn't powerful because of what it is. It triggers emotional turmoil within us. Jung warned us about the shadow we refuse to see clearly. And he's saying, and I quote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life." And that's very, very true. Jung was a brilliant philosopher as well, probably the first psychiatrist, really. By seeing your shadow fully, you begin to take back the power that these individuals hold over you emotionally. Right? They pull the strings on you. They trigger you. But toxic behaviors aren't always overtly critical. Often they manifest through subtle manipulations cloaked in charm and friendliness. Marcus Aurelius, our homie, teaches us that everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is perspective, not the truth. Realizing these manipulations are subjective interpretations empowers you to detach emotionally from their impact. Acknowledging toxic behavior openly doesn't make you cynical. That's what narcissists will try to tell you. Oh, you're being very cynical and you double talk and you don't believe anything. It's an act of an emotional courage. You begin to see clearly who contributes positively to your life and who erodes your peace. It's the moment of awakening. That's when you open your eyes. It's in that moment where you decide that your emotional tranquility is no longer open to negotiation. Seneca said we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. When you begin recognizing toxic threats, you stop imagining yourself as powerless. You begin to reinforce your boundaries with strength and mindfulness. You'll soon realize something empowering. Dealing with toxic people isn't about confrontation. It's about identification. Once clearly seen, toxic individuals lose their most potent weapon, your unconscious. Now, it's tempting to blame the low-value individual for their negativity, for their manipulation, and their hostility. But let's get to the let's get to brass tacks here. Could it be that the true culprit is really you or us who allow this manipulation to occur? Sometimes we worry about drawing clear lines and setting firm boundaries because we fear confrontation or rejection. We worry about appearing selfish or uncaring, trapped by the mistaken belief that boundaries will drive others away, which is sometimes a good thing. Marcus Aurelius insightfully reminds us, and I quote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Boundaries represent precisely that kind of strength. A quote, "A quiet, powerful protection designed from self-respect and clarity." Epictetus teaches us that freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond your control. When setting boundaries means embracing your freedom, freedom from external negativity, manipulation, and emotional exploitation. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. This profound insight reminds us that boundaries are not merely defensive. Their authenticity. You cannot fully express who you truly are if you're continuously adapting yourself to accommodate toxic behavior. That's what these politicians do. They try to go back and forth with toxic bombs all the time, and nothing gets done. But by clearly communicating what you will and won't tolerate, you aren't punishing others. You're simply standing firm in your integrity. It's not cruel to declare this behavior as unacceptable for the sake of your peace. And that's the man memo. And this is a short one tonight. Usually we got about 30 minutes. Sometimes this is going to be a little short because it's late. But I wanted to get this one out there. There's so much news to cover. I'm probably going to be doing this weekly, daily now, because it's just, everything is just, it's just crazy out there in this world. Satan is working overtime. I don't think Satan's ever worked this hard. But anyway, how do we leave you? Thank you again for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. And be careful out there, gentlemen. Be careful, because as we said, Satan is on the warpath right now. Be a man. Have a backbone. Because masculinity and common sense are worth standing up for. We'll see you later.